Is technology at your work distracting you from actual work? Do you spend too much time troubleshooting PC or internet issues? IT Enabled can help. Our team of IT specialists can help you tackle your technology troubles and get you focused on growing your business in no time. Call to schedule your technology consultation. 936-225-3329. IT Enabled. We're here to help.
We're glad to have Clay Alverson with us today. He's with the Men's Fieldhouse. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't you tell people your background? I know you have been here a long time in Lufkin, so.
Yeah, we moved here in 1989.
Okay.
I grew up in Central Texas and Burnet, Texas. And
darn it.
That's it. That is it. 1T. And grew up there. I left in 1977 and attended Texas A&M and graduated in 1981. And from there, I worked industrial construction for 12 years, and that's what construction brought me to Lufkin. Okay. And that job ended and ended up going into business for myself. And I still have a business ongoing, and I took on the executive director position of the Men's Fieldhouse.
Nice.
Been married for 39 and a half years to the same person.
That's
same
always
woman.
good.
Yeah.
Got two pretty girls.
Three
Three
daughters.
That's right. 3 pretty girls.
Yes, 3 and 2 son-in-laws, 5 grandchildren. And
that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's a big deal when we get together.
That's right. That's right.
It's
Well,
a
tell
big
us
deal.
about the Men's Fieldhouse for those that aren't familiar with it.
If you happen to be familiar, the easiest way to describe it is if you're familiar with the Mosaic Center, we do the same thing that they do. We are under the same umbrella organization, which is the Women's Mission Union, and they are a Christian women's Job Corps site. We are a Christian men's Job Corps site. We've both rebranded them the Mosaic Center and us the Men's Fieldhouse, and we offer men that are in poverty a hand up. Guys coming out of incarceration, drug abuse, alcoholism, just down on their luck. We are a training center. We offer as much restoration to the mind, spirit, and body as we do training. We offer a lot of soft job skills, computer lessons, computer training, character building. It's all biblically based. We are a Christian organization, and we so far we've seen a lot of great success. We've graduated 26 to date. We have a class going now, and we've got 5 guys that are probably going to graduate. It looks good. We're halfway through, so they're still with us.
And how long is the program?
It is 12 weeks. We do 2 semesters a year, fall and spring, or spring and fall, and they're 12 weeks, 3 nights a week, from 5 to about 8:30, and we, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and we have different people coming in and speak sometimes. But our core curriculum is called Jobs for Life, and it's a biblically based study on what it means to work, how to get a resume together, how to approach gaps in your employment history from being in prison or being on drugs. There are ways to do that and still be honest with your potential employers. We help guys to build the confidence to go out and look for work. Many of these people are broken severely, and they don't have the confidence to go look for a job.
Right. So Mosaic Center in Lufkin has been here a long time, 15 years, I believe.
I think it's pushing 18
okay.
now.
And how long has the Men's Fieldhouse been around?
We've been doing this for 4 years.
4 years. And why did you start it for men here?
There was always a need for men. Men don't seek help, generally speaking. And so our numbers are smaller, but there was not a program like the Mosaic Center. The Christian Women's Job Corps was started, I think in the early 1900s, and it was very successful. And so there's generally with these women, there was a significant other, a spouse or a boyfriend or a man in their life, and they saw a need for that man to have the same kind of training. That's right. And so Christian Men's Job Corps was started, and it's not met with the same success as the women's programs for the reasons I stated. Guys we're gonna do it ourselves. We're gonna pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and that doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah, it's an interesting place to be in. I heard somebody talking about it recently that a lot of times you will see just as men, a lot of times the way we were raised or the way society has taught us to be or what have you, but you can be going through an extremely difficult time, and the answer to that a lot of times is I'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And I'll figure out how to, whatever, get through this. And as we've done this podcast and talked to a lot of these nonprofits and organizations, sometimes it's hard for anybody to ask for help regardless, but specifically men, I think, have a hard time going out and asking. So how are you typically finding the people who are in this organization? Are they coming to you? Are they referred to you?
A lot of them are referred to us from attorneys, from adult probation.
Okay.
We tried something a little different this last semester and ran an ad in the Peddler, and we had a guy answer from that.
Nice.
We get a lot of our guys, probably 60% from Godtel.
Okay.
And most of our guys are homeless. So, if you're living at Godtel, it's a homeless shelter, so you're homeless. Awesome. And we offer a free meal, a good meal for them. From Tomei, I'll put a plug in for them. They do a great job for us.
They do so much for the whole community.
They do.
Yeah.
And so we offer that meal and some fellowship time. We have mentors involved where these guys can look to older men and for advice and just some fellowship, just to be honest with someone that's not going to judge them.
Right.
We don't do background checks on our guys. We anticipate that there's going to be something there. And as we tell them all the time, we're more interested in your future than we are your past.
Yeah. Giving them a new slate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A second chance or a third chance.
So do you work with people locally to help get them plugged in for jobs after they graduate your program?
We are trying to do that. Right now, what we're finding is a lot of these guys need more training than what we offer. Some need the GED. Some would like to go to AC and get some vocational training. And we're partnering with Joe Caesar with Legacy Institute. He's got a new program going. Next Steps, I believe is what it's called.
Yep.
And we're going to start plugging our guys in there that want to get more training because they now have a office on AC campus.
That's great.
That happened this week.
Interesting.
And so we're very excited about that. So we're going to be funneling people into their program. And Joe's on our advisory board.
Yeah, Joe's such a cool guy. He's got so
amazing.
Many phenomenal things going for our community.
He does, and he doesn't quit.
That's right.
He doesn't give up.
That's right. I don't think he sleeps.
I don't think so either.
Well, how can people support you? Well,
certainly financially.
Okay.
We are supported by. We get some grant money. We love Brookshire's. They help us out, and there's many others. Junior League, and I wish I hadn't started this because now I can't remember everybody. But we also have a lot of private donors. We can always use more funds. The main things that I do and my assistant does, we recruit students, we look to improve the program, and we raise money. And those are the three basic things we do. Now we have a slate of volunteers that teach a Bible study and Jobs for Life programs. Right. Joe Caesar comes in and teaches financial literacy. We have computer classes that Life Tech, which is part of Legacy, comes in and teaches for us.
That's great.
But yeah, they can support us by going online. We have a website, mensfieldhouse.org. We have a Facebook page. We're at 1813 East Denman, Lufkin, Texas, 75901. We're right between Denman Avenue Church, Baptist Church, and the Loop. Okay. So in a house.
Perfect.
So stop by and see us. We're there at different times. But you can give us a call, 936-632-2035.
That's great.
And give us a shout.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So if people want to support the program, do you accept donations? Are there like certain fundraising activities that you do throughout the year people can support?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
We do accept donations. You can do it through the website. There's a little portal there that you can donate. But last year we started what we call the Man Expo.
Oh, okay.
And we're planning for next year, but we did it as a celebration of fathers. We did it right before Father's Day. And it was to celebrate fathers and their positive role models. Everything that, pretty much everything wrong in society today, a common denominator is not having a father as a positive role model in the family.
Right.
It's not the sole cause, but it's a factor in kids doing drugs, kids going to prison, or as adults going to prison. And name one: gun violence, gang violence, all of those. A lot of the times you will see where there was not a father at all, or the father was not engaged, or he was not a good role model.
Right.
And so that's kind of another aspect of what we're doing. We want these men to get jobs. We want them to get restoration. But we also are looking down the road, and we're trying to reunite families through these guys getting a job. You know, one of the keys is their restoration, them getting a job to support their families and their children, if they have families and children, and move into a positive role model situation. And in that way, we are strengthening families. Our motto is equip men, strengthen families. And that's how we strengthen families, is through these men being reunited as a positive role model, doing what God created men to do. We have a fantastic Bible study that teaches those character traits and those behavior patterns. And it's very eye-opening, even for guys like myself that have, my youngest daughter is 30 years old. And I'm looking at this Bible study thinking, wow, I missed the boat in some of these areas here. But even though I was very engaged, and hopefully a very positive role model for them.
Interesting. Very good. And so that's something that people can volunteer for, that help out with the Man Expo, and is that coming up this 2022?
I kind of got sidetracked.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Okay.
We're looking at probably doing it at the same time. It was very hot last year.
Right.
And during the summer, because, that's in June,
Sure.
around the 18th, usually somewhere in there, 15th.
Perfect.
And, but yeah, they can contact us, and we're looking for sponsorships and
Awesome.
Donations of items to raffle off. It's
great.
a bit of a fundraiser, but it's also a community awareness thing.
Absolutely.
We want to get our name out there. We want people to understand the importance of men working, the importance of being the father that I described. And so, yeah, definitely give us a call if you're interested. We had a car show. We had the Wild Turkey Federation came and set up a BB gun range last year. We had a guy that was there making knives. He had a forge and an anvil, and he was showing you the process from just a piece of metal to making a knife. And what else did we have? We had auctions and silent auctions. So, and we also invited many other agencies in town, nonprofits like ADAC and Veterans Center and Cancer Society. Hospice in the Pines came, and we had several agencies like that to just so that they could just meet people and talk to people, and the folks that came could see what.
Well, it's a great referral program for everyone.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Love that.
Many people are not aware of all the help that they can get in Lufkin, Texas.
That's right. We're a blessed community. That has been the theme, I think, this month, is just how blessed we are with all the nonprofits that are here, and how everyone is just giving, and we're just a giving spirit. So yeah.
Great. Well, we thank you so much for your time. Is there
Well,
anything else that our listenership needs to know about your organization?
No, if you've got a loved one, if you know someone that needs a hand up, have them call us.
Absolutely.
Because we are certainly in that business. And not everyone sticks it out through the whole 12 weeks, but the ones that do have the tools to make a change in their life.
Absolutely.
Whether at some point, they won't lose these tools.
Yeah.
At some point, if not immediately after graduation, at some point in the future, they can rely on that to make a change in their life.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, absolutely. If you know anybody who's interested or maybe interested in that program, or if you yourself are interested in that program, there is no shame in asking for help if you need it. So thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming on the show and chatting with us and telling us all about your organization, everything that you do. And we want to thank you so much at home for listening to this episode of the podcast. I say at home, in your car, on the treadmill, or on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're listening. We truly appreciate you listening to the podcast this week, and we will see you next week.
Well, we're excited to have Ryan Williams with us today. Ryan is actually here to talk about the brand new fishing tournament that's coming to East Texas. So
Yes.
welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So why don't you tell listeners about your background, how you got involved in this, and then we'll talk about the tournament.
Well, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to make it short. I've been really good friends with Coach Kimball. He's the Hudson Athletic Director. And, of course, he coached Brandon. And I guess this was in 2018. Coach Kimball was using this old boat. It was like 15, 20 years old. The transom was almost falling out of it. And Belt had told him a long time ago that he's like, I'm going to buy my coach a new boat one day.
And so this is Brandon Belt for those
Brandon
of you
Belt,
that
I'm
are
sorry, yes.
listening. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And let's just talk a little bit about who
Sorry.
Brandon is for people who may not know or may not follow baseball.
Yeah, Brandon Belt, he plays for the San Francisco Giants. He's on his 10th season. He's first baseman. He's actually leading the team right now with home runs. I mean, he's got an unbelievable bat on him. And then the Giants they have the best record in the team, and they play tomorrow against the Dodgers to see if they'll move on to the championship series. But back in the day, Brandon Belt told his coach that he was going to buy him a new boat one day if he ever made it big in the big leagues, and of course Brandon did. And in 2018, Brandon came up to Ross Motorsports here in Lufkin and surprised his coach with a brand new Bass Cat boat. And it was something awesome to be a part of and to help with. And that's basically how I met Brandon. And moving on from there, Brandon just absolutely fell in love with fishing. Coach Kimball kept on trying to get him to go fishing with him a couple of times, and he finally went. And Brandon caught one fish on a frog, actually a little topwater frog. And he looked at his coach, and he's like, I'm in love with this, and I'm going to go buy me a boat. And a couple of weeks later, Brandon came up there and bought his own boat. And of course, the rest is history. So
That's great.
Yeah.
So Brandon is wanting to and is bringing in a brand new fishing tournament. It's the Brandon Belt Fishing Tournament?
Yes, yeah. Brandon Belt Fishing is what it's Brandon Belt Fishing LLC. We have a company formed, but this tournament that's coming to Rayburn will be coming this February. It's called the Belt's $100,000 Grand Slam. So the winning team of this tournament is going to win $100,000 cash, and Brandon's going to have it there in a briefcase.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a pretty cool event. Yep.
That's fantastic. So why here? I mean, he's a local boy, now loves Rayburn, now loves fishing, and wants to give back.
Yeah, he does. He wants to give back, and that's what that's what he said from day one, from when we were all hanging out in my house about a year and a half ago, and he said, I want to have the biggest team tournament ever that's ever been put on. And he said, with the exception, I don't want to make any money. Of course, he doesn't need any money, but he said, I don't want to make any money. I want to give everything back to the anglers. And we just kind of rolled from it from there. And Carter Willman has been a tremendous help to us as well. And we've kind of gotten to the point where we're ready to have a tournament. We have registration already open. It started, I guess, Friday of last week. And we've got roughly about 240 teams already signed up.
Wow.
We're going to cap it out at 400 teams max. But it's everything's going. We're getting sponsors left and right. There's a lot of people wanting to be a part of this. And not only are we wanting to do 100% payback to all the anglers, is we're involved with a charity. To back up a little bit, the people that are the organization that's doing our weigh-in is called Fishers of Men organization. It's a national tournament trail. It's an awesome organization. But they have been a part of, it's called the Father's Heart Orphanage in Brazil, and they help starving kids. I mean, kids down there are literally starving to death, don't have anything to eat, no shelter, anything like that. Well, the Father's Heart Orphanage, it provides for all the kids. And most of our proceeds from this tournament are going to be going down the Father's Heart Orphanage. So it's the anglers get all their money back if they win, and then the rest of the money is going to the orphanage.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
It's a
very
really
cool.
deal.
So tell us a little bit about the format. So people who may be just getting into this, want to be interested or want to be involved, tell us about the format of the tournament. How's that work?
First thing is our website is brandonbeltfishing.com. That's where you go to register.
Yep.
Of course, we are capped at 400 teams, like what I was saying earlier, so we have a little over 100 spots remaining. But it is a team tournament, so you'd be you and a partner in one boat. You do not have to have a partner. You can fish by yourself, but if you're like me and not a really good fisherman, you always need the extra help. So it is good to have somebody in the back of the boat as well. But it's a team tournament. It's going to be February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So it's a 3-day tournament. The first 2 days, which is a Thursday and Friday, everybody's going to be able to fish Thursday and Friday. And then the last day, the top 20 out of the 400 are going to fish on that Saturday. The Friday night before the last day of the tournament, we're calling it a top 20 meeting. We're going to have like some fundraising. It's actually going to be here in the Lufkin at Crown Colony. We're going to have food and beverages and so forth available. But it's the top 20 meeting, and we're going to have like a little Calcutta party. That's going to be, and all of that money is going to be going towards the orphanage as well.
That's great.
So I'm hoping we raise a bunch of money for all the kids.
And the tournament's going to be out of Castles Boykin.
Yes, that is correct. It's going to be out of Castle Boykins. The first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, it's going to be a trailing event, so you can launch from any public boat ramp on Sam Rayburn. And then the last day, we're just the top 20 out of the 400 fish. It's going to be a flighted event, so everybody will leave out of Castle Boykins. Another neat thing that we're working on is and one thing that I've tried to strive is I don't want this to be just a tournament. I want it to be an event. I want it to be something for the kids to come out, the families to come out. We're going to have like food going on. We're going to have like different singers. We're going to have different bands. During weigh-in, we're going to have some kids activities. Cool. We're going to be giving a bunch of stuff away. So it's just something fun. It's going to be the 1st of February, so hopefully it's not too cold.
Hopefully it's not.
Yeah, hopefully
cold weather.
That's we really don't have any control of that, but we're wanting to make this an event, and and as we were kind of talking about before this, a lot of your tournaments are out of Humphreys, and I'm from Lufkin. Carter Willman, he's from Lufkin, and of course Brandon, he's from Hudson. All of East Texas, and we're trying to bring something to this area. So in the future, maybe more tournaments will start coming here as well.
Great.
So
in my past life with being with the CVB and helping with tournaments, I think one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen was early at daybreak with the boats all lined up at Castles Boykin. And they played the national anthem over the big speakers, and everybody was standing. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was just the most spiritual experience that I've had, watching the sunrise with the national anthem and watching all of the anglers standing, and it was just a beautiful experience. So
I 100%
if you've
agree.
never watched the sunrise out there, you definitely need to go and experience
So that Saturday morning, the last day of our tournament, when the top 20 are fishing, a close friend of mine, his name's Ford Atkins, he's the preacher at the Cowboy Church in Central, but he's going to be saying the prayer for us Saturday morning. This is going to be right before daylight, and then his wife Angie has a beautiful voice. She has her own record label and all of that, but she's going to be singing the national anthem and doing all that. So it's going to be and that's another thing. You don't just have to come to the weigh-ins. If you want to come during the takeoffs as well, we're going to have things going on. So
that's fantastic. We're so excited that this is coming to our area and that people can get involved. And is there an age limit at all, or a minimum age?
There's not an age limit. At least one person in the boat has to be over 18 years old. And if you do have a minor, somebody that's under 18 that's fishing, we do have a minor's release that you'll be required to sign. But all that's in the rules on our website, and it's pretty explanatory.
Yeah. Good.
Well, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to tell us about this event. We're excited about it. Glad to have this here in East Texas, and super excited that Brandon's decided to put something on like this. And thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for everyone who's listening to this podcast. Please go check this event out. This is going to be an awesome opportunity. Sounds like fun for the whole family as well. And thank you for listening this week. If you want to watch the video version of this podcast, it's available on the Chamber YouTube page and on the Chamber Facebook page.